All right, and we're on. Thanks for tuning into the Indie Dave Hour. I, of course, am Indie Dave. Today we're talking to Scott Payne. Scott Payne is the creator of Chaotic Flux, which is a really cool looking comic. Let's see, we'll pull it up here we'll do a screen share and then pull up the campaign. There we go. All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about about your comic?
Okay. Well, hello, everybody. So I am the creator of Chaotic Flux and the writer as well. Um, Chaotic Flux is a focus on a super team, very similar to X-Men or the Avengers, but more on an adult level, more like Watchmen. So you have gore and there's some violence and there's horrific creatures. There's dark, dramatic events that happen and even some controversy. Um, and the main focus behind this comic is that I wanted to push boundaries and I wanted to experiment a lot with these things that I really enjoy in pop culture, particularly like mecha and exosuits and aliens and monsters and uh, manipulating science and a dark future where the weather is kind of out of control and there's a great famine all over the world as well. Um, so I wanted to encompass all these into one book and make it work, weave everything in together so that it flows properly and have interesting characters and something also that kind of hits the ground running and just keeps going and never stops. And also a book that doesn't pull punches.
All right.
But the story itself is about an exosuit pilot who unites a ragtag group of unique warriors to save a dying Earth from a plague of mutant abominations and a genocidal dark entity born of the hatred of all humankind.
All right. Are these on the cover here? These are the mutant things.
Yes, those are the Dread Fiends, is what they are called in the storyline.
What are they called?
Dread Fiends.
Okay, that's cool. All righty. The art looks. You're doing all the art on this, colors, everything.
I have two artists that did all that for me.
Okay.
Illustrator and colorist that are, as you can see, are really talented.
All righty. And that's Brian and Brian.
Yeah, Brian Bolando, Bolando, Brian Bolando, and Brian McNahee, and they're really good friends in real life, and they've worked together before on other projects, and I thought that was pretty cool to get these two guys together since they've worked so well and they have done things together in the past.
How'd you meet them?
Actually, I did a search kind of thing, or I guess you say I put out an ad on their sites you go to where you can find artists, kind of like a hiring board, if you will.
Yeah.
And they actually Brian Bolando saw my ad on there on the site, contacted me, and then he connected me with the colorist since they're good friends in real life. So that's how I found him.
Cool. And where did you get the original idea for this?
It's been a build up over years, actually, adding little things here and there and trying to make things work together, or working to get things to work together and coming to the point where it all makes sense and it intertwines properly. So it's taken a lot of work to build it and get it to where it is. I think it was like 20 years ago when I first started the concept of this comic. Yeah. It started out as just wanting to do a team comic like X-Men or Avengers and making really diverse characters and storyline. And then I was like, well, you know what? I like crazy creatures. I like mecha. I like exosuits. I like aliens. And then so I started pulling all these things together and making it into one cohesive storyline.
It looks really neat. I got March Hare in the chat. Hey, March.
So, March.
Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you retweet this out. Let's see. So you're just the writer?
Yes, I'm the only writer.
Writer and creator. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. This looks really cool. And
It's been so much fun putting this book together.
right here's all these the people on your super team. What
Yeah.
we're looking at now.
Uh, what are you? Actually, that's 3 members of the team.
Okay.
So there's 3 that come in the storyline later, and with issue 1, I really wanted to focus on. I'm sorry. Early on in the series, I wanted to focus on individual characters
Mm-hmm.
and build them up, so you get a proper full origin story for them, and build up of their background and everything, and who they are, where they're going, why they're doing what they're doing, and then they eventually come together as a team. So the first issue focuses on Zathara, which is the blue-skinned alien girl you see there with the cloak on.
Okay.
And issue 2 will also focus on her. And then issue 3 and 4 goes to Soren, the guy in the red jacket there, and then the mecha named Strife behind him. And then issue, let's see, what was it? 5 and 6 will focus on Gareth, which Gareth is a huge 8-foot tall swordsman with a giant transforming double-bladed sword. I don't have any artwork of him yet. I just wanted to focus on, issue 1 for now, but eventually, here in a couple of issues, you'll start seeing stuff with him. And then issues 7 and 8 will focus on Nalariat and Pagan, which are the 2 magic users or sorcerers in the storyline.
Okay.
And then after that's when they unite against a giant horde of the Dread Fiends. Take them on.
I'm just going through it. Looks real. I'm looking at these pictures. The art's amazing.
Thank you.
These guys are really good.
Yeah, they really are. I'm so happy when I found them.
Whoa, what the hell was that?
That was my phone, sorry. I've got a top ringer. Very unprofessional.
It's fine. This whole show is unprofessional. I'm doing this. Usually, I do this at my kitchen table, but
I'm actually at my kitchen table right now.
yeah. Usually I'll do this whole thing for my kitchen table, but we had to delay. We were supposed to do this at 2, and I have stuff going on in the house right now, so I had to bump it up an extra hour.
That's all right.
Let's see. So I'm up in the bedroom right now. I'm in the I'm in the bed studio instead of the kitchen table studio. All right, so I'm looking at over here. I'm just kind of scrolling through all the art.
Mm-hmm.
It looks as professional as any comic book I've ever seen. Have you written other comics before? Have you considered yourself a writer from?
I guess you could say in my own way, writing things on the internet, but nothing to this level. It's been more of as far as like writing and building this storyline up at all. It's been very just on my computer, building things up over the years, ideas and what have you, and kind of just, I guess, constructing it kind of behind the scenes slowly, and then getting it to the point, like I said, where I can actually feel like, okay, I can really make a story out of this now. Let's go.
All right, I'm gonna scroll back up real quick. I hope I don't get everybody dizzy. Let's go over. Let's see. So you got 14 days left. Right now you're at 8%. You need to get 6,000.
Yeah, I'm shooting for 6,000.
All right. Since March Hare's in the chat, I need you to get the other $5,500 if you could.
Let's do this. Go. You can do it, man.
So let's go. Let's look over at all the tiers. Let's see. Well, I guess your featured tier is $75, and what do we get with that?
The Chaos one. That one, I think you get. Oh, there you go. Opened it. Yeah. So the PDF, both covers, trading cards. I believe in that one too. You get both the metallic cards and the regular cards, metallic cards, the regular print, and the metallic print.
Wow.
And the T-shirt.
That's pretty cool. And so the metallic trading cards is like metallic ink, or what's that all about?
It's actually well, it's like aluminum with ink on it.
Oh wow,
So it's a lot like the old '90s style metallic covers, but done as cards.
neat.
Hmm. And the cards are going to be part of a series that I'm planning. So every issue that I do, there'll be about 2 cards that will be available during a campaign with that issue, or that go along with that issue.
Oh, you're good to go. Mark Hare said he's going to call in some favors.
Nice. Thanks, March.
Just retweet it a lot. Get a copy for yourself.
Hmm.
Let's see. The $2 that's going to be, I imagine, just the PDF.
Actually, that's
Oh no,
just
that's
if
just
you
the
just want to,
support. That's
throw
just
some money at
okay.
it.
Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to put out anything that's wrong information.
Right.
All right. So
Yeah,
this
it's
is great.
$5
Thank
for
you.
the PDF.
All right. There we go. These creatures are freaking crazy looking.
Mhm.
That's really
Yeah,
neat.
and they can actually mutate and change themselves and adapt. So they're going to get pretty wicked and awesome as the story goes on. Yeah, actually in issue 1 you see some pretty cool stuff with them,
All
but
right.
they definitely get really amazing as the story keeps going.
All right. $10 get you the book. It's one copy, one physical copy. Let's see. With the original cover. Let's see. Do we see it? Because it says original cover, so there's another version, another variant cover.
Yes, there's a metallic cover.
Okay. Is it the same thing? Just now it's all metallic, or is
Yeah,
it okay?
yeah.
Let's see. Get a signed book for 15. Let's see. Estimated delivery. So is this completed?
Yes, the issue is complete.
All right, good. So when you go ahead for those listening, when you go ahead and buy it, you're not going to be waiting any extra time.
No,
When it's over, shipping will be relatively quick.
yeah, I plan to start shipping the books out in mid-March.
Yeah. Hey, do you have all? All right, so you've already printed everything. Do you have all your mailings and everything ready to go, or is that still up in the air?
I mean,
Oh, have you? All right, you still need to print them, right?
yeah,
Okay, so you got to print them.
that's only supposed to take like a couple weeks, and then
Yeah.
I'm gonna start. I think it's next week. I'm gonna send it off to start getting them printed,
Okay.
and I should get them like the first week of March, and then I'll start sending them out that week after that.
Yeah. I would have added extra month myself, just because
Hmm.
I know everybody seems to be having a little bit of issues with
Oh, really?
printers. Well, it's just I mean just things that kind of seem little delays. Like I don't know
Mm.
if you've been paying attention to Zach's thing, uh, diversity in comics. He thought it was going to be bam printed up, and then it was back and forth with the printer, making sure all the print sets were right and all the adjustments are correct. And then he had an issue. They went to a fulfillment, and he thought that they were going to ship it a certain way, but they didn't ship the way he wanted. And some of the books, like he thought they were going to be in like protected mailers and stuff,
Mhm.
and some of the books were like thrown in puddles and all kinds of stuff
Oh,
by the mailman.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and like I guess it wasn't an archive quality like mailer on the inside.
Mhm.
So I mean, he was
Just like
he was
like
super picky about it.
uh-huh.
So I got my copy and I looked at it after he said, "Oh my god," he was kind of freaking out because people were saying it was the books were kind of messed up. Mine was, I mean, the tiniest little details, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll replace your book, blah blah." Blah. But it's one of the things you want to make sure. I would almost have added an extra month to the estimated delivery, but I think most people are used to uh, getting it a little bit late now.
Yeah, that does seem to be pretty common with the Indiegogo or any really crowdfunded comics. It takes just a little while.
Yeah. So you got the estimated delivery for everything in March.
Yeah.
I would say as somebody who's ordered a few of these things, it's probably going to be it. I mean, I don't know what you have for arrangements and stuff, so I'm not telling everybody that your book's going to be late. I'm just saying, if I were doing it, I probably would have put out an extra, and I would have added an extra month myself.
Hmm.
Like I said, hopefully everything goes smooth with you, and then this doesn't become an issue. I'm just saying, it seems to be an issue with everybody lately. All right, and there you go. There's your metallic cover, and you're only going to get it. I mean, that's not going to be available any other time, right?
Yeah, only through the campaign.
All right, that's
I think,
$20.
if I remember right, the only thing that you can get after the campaign is the original print of the comic.
All right, so you're gonna make that available.
Yeah, because I'm printing several copies,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be selling those through comic shops and distributors, and I'm going to be attending some cons as well, custom comic cons, and promoting it, and selling it through there as well.
Yeah. So March Harris said, so is that like the old Chromium cards?
Yeah, like the 90s style, chromium metallic cards.
Those are cool. I have a few of those. I went to a convention last year, and there was a guy there. He was the guy that drew the original Star Wars poster.
Oh wow!
And Greg Hildebrandt,
mm-hmm.
And he did a whole series of Marvel cards from like 1992 or something, and it just so happened I had them. So I brought a bunch of cards for him to sign. He signed a few of my Chromium cards.
Oh wow, that's
from that
awesome.
collection. Yeah.
Wow.
Let's see. So let's see, $25. The deluxe package. What are we getting with the deluxe?
I was going to say that's a good example to hang on to, stuff like that. You never know. Get the opportunity.
Yeah. All right. So let's see. Deluxe package. You're getting the PDF.
Mm-hmm.
You get the signed original cover. You're getting all the trading cards. And
well,
what's the art?
One you get the 2 non-metallic trading cards, and you get
non-metallics
art print. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the art print? That's just like a poster kind of thing.
That one is actually going to be the cover, but with none of the lettering or the logo or anything on it. It's just the art of the cover.
Okay.
And then the metallic one is going to be the I think it's back up top on the on this, but the
metallic.
That one right there. Okay. That one right there. Go up a little bit. Scroll back up a little. That right there. That's where the team's jumping at you with the. That's the metallic art print.
Okay. This one right here. Where
no, down on your left.
Oh, right here.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
So that one's gonna be metallic.
Oh, that's cool. All right. Let's see. And we're looking at one more deluxe package. I think we just looked at that one. That's our print. Both covers for $35.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be signed. Oh, and they're both signed.
Yep.
Oh, that's good. I have to consider deluxe metallic package. What's that one?
That's everything that's metallic.
Is the PDF metallic?
Yes.
I'm gonna need my PDF to be metallic on my. Let's see. So we get the metallic cover, the metallic trading cards, and the metallic. So the print is going to be metallic. That's pretty cool. Let's see. $50 collector's package. All right, that one's going to be you get your signed print original cover, and your signed print metallic. Your trading cards, is it going to be the metallic trading cards too? Yep, there you go. Metallic trading cards, the art print, and the metallic art print. So that's your full package right there.
Well, it's everything but the T-shirt.
But the T-shirt, okay. Let's see, $60 retail 10. That's for retailers, I assume.
Yeah.
10 copies of the original.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's $60. All right. Let's see, retail 20 for $105. Let's see. All Out Chaos Squared. That's a T-shirt. That's everything.
Yeah.
T-shirt and the collector's package.
×2 on the 75 one above.
Okay.
So for people who just if they want 2 sets or if they want to buy one for someone else, they can get it as a little bit of a discount there to both of them together.
So you're getting 2 full collector's packages plus 2 T-shirts.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's pretty cool. All righty. So how long have you been into comic books?
Oh shoot, since I was a kid. I guess maybe 6 years old or something like that. I can't remember.
When did you were you like a big collector as a kid when you got?
I was really big into. Well, I still am, but except for current state of X-Men. But
yeah,
I've been for years been a big fan of the X-Men. It's probably my most favorite comic book for a long time. But I've also been very much into Spawn. And let's see, I'm a big fan of the Watchmen, Battle Chasers, Wolverine, Deadpool. Batman, big Batman fan.
March Hare asks, I just caught it. How much is shipping with each?
I don't remember off the top of my head. It's pretty reasonable though, because we're going through this local guy who does shipping really, really cheap. So if I remember right, it's not too bad. I think even internationally, it's like maybe $4 or $5 for this guy.
Is he just going to fold the books up and stick them in a regular envelope?
Pull them up. No, actually, I'm going for the padded envelopes with the what do you call it? Where they put the wrapping paper inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Built it in there. Yeah, and every one is going to be boarded and bagged as well.
Okay, good. All right, Adam AF, say hey. So we got another guy in the chat. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead. What were you collecting again? I know you said you were into the X-Men.
Yeah, a lot of X-Men. Let's see, Deadpool, Wolverine, Batman. I'm a big Batman fan. Watchmen, Battle Chasers. What else is there? A lot of. I was real big at X-Force as well in the '90s. A lot of Cable and X-Force comics still. Spawn, Witchblade. A lot of Witchblade I still do.
So about what I'm 44. So about what years were you collecting?
Oh, well, I'm still collecting today, but
well, I mean, like when I always put it that way, and I'm not representative of everybody, I guess, because I really stopped for a good 20 years. I was right at the bubble, like 86 is about when I really started collecting. And then when I graduated high school, then I was like, oh, all right, I gotta move my money priorities elsewhere.
Yeah.
So that was a good 3 years or 7 years or something that I collected, and then I jumped back into it just a couple of years ago, really.
Huh. Like that's kind of how it was with video games. At one point, I stopped playing games altogether for a couple of years, and then jumped head on back into it again. But I was going to say, I guess in the '90s, I did a lot of collecting then, and then it kind of veered off a little bit in the 2000s. But I picked up more here lately, and especially getting more into actually getting into indie comics. That's something that I had put off for a while, and then, especially now that I am an indie creator and seeing more of these indie comics and how great they are, I'm really trying to get into putting a good amount of money aside to get more of these books. And
are you pretty much collecting the same stuff now as you used to?
No. Let's see. I only got into Deadpool a few years ago, and let's see, what is it? I got back into the Avengers a few years ago after a long break from them. Mostly the Ultimates when that was going. That really got me back in the Avengers, and so just kind of dabbling here and there on some things. But I've always been a Batman fan. I've always been an X-Men. Those are probably my two primaries. But again, aside from current X-Men, which I'm not very happy with. But
yeah, X-Men in the '90s. That's about my peak collecting. I was almost straight Uncanny X-Men.
Yeah.
And then I sold my collection a few years ago. I had 1,500 comics or however many it was. I sold a bunch of them, and I knew which ones were worth some money, a little bit. And then every once in a while, I'll be on Twitter or whatever, and somebody will post a picture of an older comic from that era, and I'll be like, oh, I had that one. Like I had the first appearance of Deadpool, which is $200 and something or more now. Damn. And I kick myself every day when I'll see a picture of it. I'll be like, I had that one. First appearance of Cable. I had that one.
Yeah, I know what you mean, man. I sold a few comics back in the day, too. It's rough. Toys, too. There's a lot of toys that I used to have that are worth so much money now, like Star Wars and G.I. Joe. I'm like, man, if I kept those, I could have thousands of dollars now, but oh well.
Yeah, I had a... a lot of the kind of I started in indies
Mm-hmm.
when I was a kid, and it's because I always kind of thought like Marvel and DC like kind of looked the same, and
Mm-hmm.
everything kind of looked the same to me at the time, and all the indie stuff really stood out because it was all so different, and it was different, and it seemed to me as a kid when I don't draw anymore, but back then it was like, oh, that seems so achievable. Like,
Right.
oh, you look at the old Ninja Turtles, and you're like, oh, I could probably. I mean, I maybe someday I'll never be Ethan Van Sciver or whatever, but I mean, I might be able to be like the guy that did the Ninja Turtles because it looked so much rougher.
Right.
And not to put any of those guys down, like I mean,
Yeah.
those were great comics and Cerebus and all that. Those were all great comics, but you look at them and it's like, wow. Plus, they were just so stylized and
Right. Exactly.
yeah,
So much about the personality. The art adds a particular personality to the book, and in that way, it stands out.
yeah. All right. Oh, so chaotic flux. That's good. Sorry, I'm flipping through your things still. All right, so you've been, let's see, so how long have you been collecting, been into comics? I know you said your whole life, but about since the 90s, basically?
Yeah, the '90s was when it really picked up. Like I was kind of like you, really into the X-Men. Like particularly the Age of Apocalypse storyline. That's always
Mm-hmm.
been one of my most favorite like comic book storylines ever, and even today. And not too long ago, I actually bought all the trade paperbacks of the whole series. Just because I had a lot of it back then, but I wasn't able to get all of it. But then a few years ago, I was like, I'm just going to go out and get it all. So I did that, and it's also that's actually a pretty big influence on Chaotic Flux is the Age of Apocalypse storyline. The idea that you have these characters that are pushed to their like core, their absolute limit of their powers and their abilities, that they have to be the best that they can be in order to survive and overcome, this big global threat that they're dealing with.
That's really cool. So what is it about the new X-Men that you're not really into anymore?
Uh, just the designs are weird to me now. I just can't have been able to get behind that, and the weird team ups that I don't think fit right, and then there's certain characters I believe that should have more spotlight, but for some reason, well, I know why, but they're not getting that spotlight, and the storylines have been pretty weak in my opinion. I don't know. It's just weird.
They
I don't
seem
see
to
why they don't. They're not as brave as they used to be.
they seem to be less about fighting supervillains and more about fighting issues.
Yeah, and I don't get it. I don't know.
Hey, Rabbit T Cat, how's it going?
It's frustrating.
Looking in the chat now. Let's see. March Hare lost his collection in a house fire. Then a flood
Oof.
years later. Somebody did not want you collecting comics, March Hare. And I feel the current.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
He says he feels the current corporate comics climate has done more to make me want to walk away. Yeah,
That's a shame.
that's kind of, and I don't know. Do you consider yourself? I mean, it doesn't matter either way. I'm not one of those guys that's gonna, if your stuff looks good. Are you Comicsgate? Do you consider yourself Comicsgate? Hello? Did I lose you?
Just talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were talking about one of the guys in the chat.
No. I was talking to you. No, it's all right. Do you consider yourself Comicsgate?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I am more, I guess you could say, left wing, but I do agree with the whole idea that this stuff doesn't belong in comic books that's happening today. It holds it down too much. It drags it down. It pushes it into the dirt, and it really limits everything. And Chaotic Flux to me, and what I want for people it to be is a comic book that just runs and just goes and just is a comic book and just is fun and exciting and different and isn't bogged down by all these weird politics and agendas and just have a fun story with cool characters and awesome events and battles and you know just a fun comic like there was in the 90s and early 2000s.
It should, to me, and I mean, people should be allowed to make whatever comics they want.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to make it, not you particularly, but if somebody wants to make a political comic, I know there are old comics that were.
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
That were straight up indie comics that would straight up be a left wing.
Stand their own.
Yeah,
stand their own. Be over there. Leave Marvel and DC and everyone. Let them do their thing.
Yeah,
and stop trying to twist and warp it into. But I know why they. Well, and you probably agree too. Why they do it the way they do it. Well, I think they know that their comic, if they did it that way, where it's just their own thing, their own characters, their own story with all these political agendas filled up into it, that it's not going to get a Marvel fan base. It's not going to get a DC fan base.
Yeah.
So, not that there's a strong fan base now because of what they're doing, but they know that it doesn't have that strength. So they have to take characters that are already established, that have a fan base, a big fan base behind them, and warp them, and you know what I'm saying.
They could create a character that has that whatever left wing or right wing agenda. I don't necessarily, and it's one of the things with Tim Lim. I actually have one of his My Hero Macadamia, and it's a parody comic. It's all about Trump and all this other stuff, and he does all these other Trump comics, and that's fine. But I have to agree with Ethan when he says this isn't the future of Comicsgate, because really it's not timely. Because once he's out of office, then okay,
yeah,
it's a comic about an ex-president. I have a comic about an ex-president called Reagan's Raiders, and it's from it came out in the 80s. Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. But I mean, there's room if people want to buy those comics and you want to make those comics, or not you know what I'm saying. But I mean, it's fine to have those out there, but don't say, well, nobody wants to buy my comic, so I'm going to sneak into Marvel and I'm going to take Spider-Man and I'm going to make Spider-Man my character instead. Spider-Man is all of a sudden all about fighting the patriarchy, or whatever it is. Right. It's just silly.
It really is.
Let's see. Rabid Cat says Donny Cates hanging out with Tim Doyle was a bit of a shock. Tim Doyle is the worst. Oh my god, he's almost worse than SJW Spider-Man. And Adam AF. That's almost textbook propaganda. That's exactly what it is. You usurp something that's already in the zeitgeist, something that's already popular, and you make it something else, and you use it to push your own message, your own agenda.
Yeah, Batman. You're talking about characters that are born from none of that. They're just they're just fun characters to read and get into, and I understand characters that you can relate to, like Spider-Man is supposed to be relate to kids who have issues, in school and whatnot. But I don't know. It's just keep it more, I guess, open is what I think. To me, what the best characters are that have you can reflect on their issues or whatnot, like Tony Stark being an alcoholic or something like that, but not all these very specific agendas and what have you.
Well, yeah, like almost anybody can identify with an alcoholic character because a lot of people have a history, maybe a family member, maybe themselves or whatever. So that's not a left or right wing thing. That's it's a common thing that people deal with, and it's something that everybody can kind of understand.
Yeah, it's a good way of putting it.
All right. Adam AF says Batman has become Tom King, sad and depressing. I was collecting Batman up a little bit till I think just before the wedding. I kind of liked the date night one, and I had collected a little bit before that too, but just before the wedding I stopped collecting. I just kind of lost interest in it, and I like the character of Batman. I had some before, but that's one I used to collect a lot. I just dropped that one.
Well, one of the things that I've enjoyed doing here lately, not that I'm enjoying the SJW Marvel DC, but one of the things that I have enjoyed of getting anything from it is well, okay, well, I don't like the current state of it. Well, I'm going to go back and take this time to jump into those stories I missed that were good and go back and buy those. Um, and I guess I don't know. It's just kind of like kind of catch up, but also just being able to escape that and remember that at one point it was great. So I'm going to go chase that and not have to, you know, be forced into dealing with the current state of whatever's going on.
Sometimes there's some old storylines that pop up. People be talking about it on Twitter or whatever, and I'll be like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go next time I go to my LCS and just try to find that back issue, and maybe I'll start doing. I don't want to do too many back issues, but eventually, I'm collecting Exo Manowar right now, and I started.
Oh, yeah, I've been meaning to get on that. Is it good?
It is. It's really good.
Really? I've started so many good things about it. So
yeah, I started at issue 10, I think. But now I want to buy, and I want to buy the first 9 issues now of this new run before I can't afford them anymore.
Right. Well, that's the nice thing about trade paperbacks too. You know how they'll just
I might just do that.
Yeah,
I might just do that. I kind of like having the whole the actual floppies, and what's great, I don't know if you ever picked one of those up off the shelf just to look at it. It's a solidly, like from a physical perspective, it's a solidly built book. It's got a nice like solid thick cover, and all the pages are really it's a really well put together book. And the story and the art's good too, but you pick it up and it feels really substantial. The Exo Manowar one. Yeah, Adam says I probably dropped it because it's so boring, Batman. Yeah, right now the only series that I'm collecting right now is Silencer. Everything I've been collecting really lately has been actually, although no, I started. We'll see if Conan keeps doing well.
Yeah, they keep saying it's pretty good.
I've been liking. There's only been 3 issues of one, and Savage Sword came out last week.
I've heard a lot of good things about the Killmonger miniseries as well. Everyone keeps saying it's pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one yet. But yeah, so right now the only series I'm collecting is the Silencer and the 2 Conan books, and everything else I've collected it's kind of miniseries. I did the Brave and the Bold with Liam Sharp's book.
Oh. And
I've also been picking up, actually, since Grant Morrison and Liam Sharp are on the new Green Lantern, I've been picking that one up.
That's cool. Yeah, I was thinking about how weird in the fact that comics have become this, I guess, Russian roulette, where they might have a series that for a while it's good and it doesn't have any weird agendas or anything like that in it, and all of a sudden you get new writers and artists and whatnot, and
they take it in a different direction.
Yeah, and you're like, what happened, and or if you're someone who hasn't read comics for a while, kind of like we were talking about earlier, and they come back into it, and like, oh, let's say they're, a Batman fan, for example, or someone let's just say any comic, and they pick it up, they start getting back into it, and then it's got all this weird agenda stuff in it, and they're like, then you just feel like you're tricked, and you wasted your money, and I don't know, it's one of the things. Like I've been myself personally, I've been weary about current comics, is going out and buying really much of anything, because I'm afraid that if I don't do research and see if it's that way now, then I'm gonna be disappointed and a waste of my money, or I'll get into it and then they, like I said, they switch it around on you, and you're like, what? I don't know. Yeah. TV shows too have gotten that way some.
Oh, I tried Supergirl for I think the first season, and then after a while it's just like, I don't know. She always seemed like a little girl no matter what, and like an adult body, right? And that was the thing that kind of bothered me. March Hare says Spider-Man used to be an everyman character, but now he's being written for Who? And the thing that killed me, there's an agenda, and they were changing the character.
Mm-hmm.
Was I can't remember who it was. I think it was last year, maybe the year before. There was a Spider-Man issue, and his whole thing, the whole behind Spider-Man is with great power comes great responsibility. Well, there was some girl, some character, I don't remember who it was. There was some character that lectured him about that and said, no, that's wrong because, because only certain people have the power. And it went on. And I was like, oh my God, you took the basis behind the character and you flipped it around and he didn't argue back. I mean, this was what his uncle taught him and how he taught him to be responsible. But he didn't. He just instead of turning around and saying, "Well, no, this, and this," instead of arguing back about it, his character's kind of "Oh yeah, I guess it is."
Wow.
I mean, that's the whole basis of the comic is on that phrase, but essentially, and they turned it around on him, and oh man, I couldn't even believe it.
That's crazy.
Oh, my computer shut down. Hold on. All right, back. Yeah, my computer times out after a while, and then I can't see anything on it. All right. All right. So, all right. Back to your comic. So you've been working on it for, you said, 20 years, roughly?
Yeah, slowly building. Yeah. I've had a lot of, I guess, other things going on over the years, too. So
everybody does.
It's just,
life gets in the way.
Right. But yeah, it felt pretty good when I, sat down and said, okay, it's ready. Let's do this. And I sat down and I started writing the script to see if I could even write a comic book script and make it good. And I got to a point where I was pretty satisfied, and then we went and found the artists and started building it.
So at what point after all this development did you feel like, all right, this is finally good enough, I have everything, I'm gonna write a script?
When I would say it was probably maybe middle of last year when I finally got the pieces right that I was wrestling with, that I couldn't get to fit together. Because like I said before, it's a lot of genre smashing and a lot of trying to put all these elements together, and I want it to flow. I didn't want it to feel disjointed and well, why is this all of a sudden, or that and this and excuse me. So it just took a bit and finally hit it, like I said early last year or middle last year or so. And then I started sitting down and writing the script, and it just kept going from there.
Yeah, when I was writing a script last year, and while I was writing it, I'd read it to my wife, or I'd have her read it over. I'm like, all right, so is there anything in here that's confusing? Is there anything that doesn't seem right? You got to bounce it off of her, because I'm like, all right, it looks right in my head, but I want to make sure if someone else kind of looks it over and says, all right, is there anything in here that doesn't make sense to you? Is there any holes I need to fill? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, I bounced off quite a few people, and I tried to find as many people too that would be unbiased, and they give me good feedback, and I made make a few tweaks here and there, but I was actually surprised how minor I had to change, or what little I had to change, and then we put the book together, and then I sent it off to get it reviewed as well as get early reviews done, and I've gotten, I think it was 4 reviews done so far, and they're all really positive.
That's good. So, it's actually fine. It's hard to find people that'll tell you the straight truth, because everybody wants to be nice to you.
Yeah,
that's why it's good. That's why, like I said, when you get a chance, try to get on John Malin's show, because he'll give you a good, honest, and it's he's not going to be mean about it when he tells you if he doesn't like something, or if he's not going to, he won't be mean about it, but he'll say, all right. I think, and looking at this, it's pretty good. I'm not an artist myself, so I'm not a judge, but I mean, this is as good as any art I've seen on anything coming out. Did the characters in your head look like how they are on the screen?
Pretty close. I mean, I had, a pretty general or I guess basic idea in my head of how I wanted it to look, but it's, I don't know if you've ever like try to envision characters in your head that you want to, put on paper or whatever, but you get kind of what you think you want, but your mind only, for me anyway, my mind only imagines so much, or is able to imagine so much of the character and make it look exciting and interesting. So then for instance, how my process worked with my artist, I told him basically what I wanted, and then I found pictures on the internet that were similar to the style and look that I wanted, like several pictures. And then I gave those to him and said, okay, this is kind of what I'm going for. Can you make something out of it? And then it's basically like he just threw it in a blender and then pulled out, like, for instance, the stripe design there, or Soren's exosuit, and he did such a good job, and for me that it embodies what I was thinking in my mind, but also really amplifies it, and gives it a really cool style that it I guess you could say visually it embodies what I felt I wanted when I see the character, that the joy I get, like, yes, that's it,
Yeah. It's crazy. I've never had anything published, but I've worked with a couple of artists, and one of the characters I designed, we met, and he was like, "Yeah, he was looking for just a short script for some experience." So I'm like, "Yeah, I got this little thing," and you get to design a character and everything. And when it came back and I looked at it, I'm like, "Oh my god, that's amazing!" It's like, this is a character I created, and now I'm looking at it in a picture.
It feels incredible, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, it's just the coolest thing. All right, so for everybody listening, let's see. For everybody listening, we got 14 days left. It's 2 weeks. We're only at 8% of 6,000, so definitely check it out. Fund it if you can. If not, definitely retweet it though, because this is it's a really cool looking project. And I'd really like to see this in print. I always like everybody to be successful as much as we can.
Yeah. Well, I want to say that the campaign, it is to cover the printing cost and the production of the cost of the book. But like I said earlier, the book's already made. It's already paid for my artists, and I am, regardless of the campaign, no matter, because I'm not gonna. I just want to get it out there. So I am still printing the book, and I haven't decided if I'm going to do another campaign for the same book. What I think I'm going to more do is take the books and go to conventions and comic shops and distributions and try to get it going that way.
See if you can do and I haven't seen too many of these. Oh well, I think Zach's first book, his first Jawsbreakers, was print on demand. We're basically
that's also something I'm going to do at some point. I'm not sure when exactly yet though, because I do want people to be able to just get the book.
Well, I would say that as an option if it doesn't get funded. And you want to get the, I mean, that's to me would be the go-to if you're not going to run another campaign afterwards. If to do a print, just to get it out there, do a print on demand. But the goal is let's get this thing funded.
Yeah,
and because that would be
if it gets funded as well, then that allows me more time to work on book 2 and get it out there instead of spending time on making the money back on issue 1.
Yeah, and the goal is once you get that first hurdle of you meet the goal, then you're good to go as far as you can. I think is it another 60 days that you can put it on demand or in demand is the Indiegogo.
I'm not sure how many more days you get.
As long as you meet the goal, I think
Yeah, you have
there's
to
a limited
earn it.
time that you can still keep selling it.
Mm-hmm.
So for those I've said that, I mean, obviously if you really like it, you should buy the print copy. If for whatever reason it's down to the wire and you like the book and you're just catching up with the book, like
Mm-hmm.
then for anybody out there, do what you can to get the book to its goal. Maybe just get the PDF if that's all
Yeah.
you can afford, and then once the book meets its goal and you've got that little extra cash, maybe you were just waiting for a paycheck or whatever, then you get your PDF for was it $5?
Yeah, $5.
So get your $5 and then go ahead and get one of the bigger tiers once you've got more money. Because the point really is to get you to your goal so that you can kind of get it to the printer
Right.
and get it made.
Keep it going because
Yes.
there's a lot of story I have to tell in the series, and I really wanted to, make the whole thing. So I was going to say too that regardless of the campaign success, all back rewards are going to get made and shipped out.
Okay, so even if it doesn't meet its goal, you're still going to fulfill what was requested.
Yes.
All right, there's the answer to your question there, Marcher. So that's good to go too, and then you can do that a lot easier because you've had the book finished, right?
Yeah,
it just makes it that much easier to do that.
Yeah, and all the companies I'm going through to make all these things, they all are just make on demand. So
okay,
it's not like an issue where I have aside from the original print, because you have to print so many of those to get it down to a certain price cost or
yeah, you have to
price point
to get your
the other
discount
ones,
to be so many print.
yeah, exactly. Man, printing's crazy, but
Yeah.
but all the other items, those are actually just print on demand or make on demand, so I can hit all those pretty easily.
Yeah, I don't know anybody else is doing the. Well, you've already backed it. And it didn't make the goal. I'm gonna send it out anyway. I don't think there's many people that are doing that. Usually, what they'll do is they'll retool and then just wait till the next one, or they'll plan on another one, or they'll give up. But we don't want you giving up. We want this thing funded.
Yeah, no, I'm not giving up. I'm one way or the other. This book is gonna get out into the world and continue.
Well, we definitely want your name out there. So, you should contact Marmaduke, but I'll give him a call. He's a well, not a phone call. We're not that buddies, but I'll definitely tell him to get a hold of you,
Thanks.
or you should get a hold of him. Either way.
Well, either way, man.
He will definitely check out the book, and he's a better interviewer than I am. So he'll ask some
I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, he'll ask some really good questions. He's more of an artist than I am. He's really into the art styles and that kind of stuff. So he'll definitely have more to say about the book. I mean, it looks great, and I think I'm definitely going to be, like I said, I'll be retweeting the crap out of this. And when I do live streams, if you want to come on any of the live streams, you're welcome to join us for that too.
Okay. Yeah, I tried to find time this week to jump in on one, but I couldn't make it work.
Yeah. What do you got going on over there now?
Huh?
I can hear something in the background.
That stupid thing popped up. Sorry.
No, it's fine. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. Let's go over your book. Do your elevator pitch one more time.
All right.
That's how I like to open and close with your elevator pitch.
I like it. Okay. In the distant future, an exosuit pilot must unite a ragtag group of very unique warriors to save a dying Earth from a plague of mutant abominations and a genocidal dark entity born of the hatred of all humankind. This is Chaotic Flux.
All right, and there you go. You guys can see that cover in the well. I'm not sharing, am I? All right. Check out the Indiegogo. Again, there's a lot of really cool tiers, a lot of really cool stuff, the chromium cards and the chromium covers and stuff like that. So it's gonna be cool, guys. Everybody needs to check this out. And when you're pitching for your book, just let them know, hey, I was on the Indie Dave show. If you want to check out it, it'll cover all the gamut of everything. All right. Thanks again for coming on my show. Thanks everybody for being in the chat.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Please go out and get the book.
All right. Yeah, definitely buy the book. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And all right, y'all have a good night.
Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, no problem.